My name is Amanda, and I wanted to create a video about horrible bosses because I feel very fortunate in my life to have had plenty of horrible bosses as well as some great ones. And I wanted to share with you some tips that I've learned along the way. I'm 28 years old, so it's not like I've been working forever, but this is kind of geared towards people who have just graduated college and they're finally starting their work adventure and they want to know what it's like to work in the workplace, and they finally do, and it turns out they hate their boss. And I think the statistic says that 75% of people leave their jobs because of their boss. And that's crazy because, you can't go jumping from job to job, career to career because you don't like your boss. This is something that I'm super helpful that I have kind of learned along the way. So hopefully this helps you guys in the future. And so I have 4 tips. And the first one that I wanted to kind of dive into that helped me so much in my career was finding a great mentor. And it's super awkward trying to find one because you're like, I don't know, who do I ask? And obviously you're like way down here, and your mentor should hopefully be way up here, either in like grade level or further along in their career. They're wiser, they're more mature, they've tried different areas of the business. They just have something that you want to be like. And so you approach them and you ask them, and they hopefully say yes. And if they say no, that's okay, because you don't want to waste your time with a bad mentor. You want a mentor who is really invested in trying to learn something from themselves too, right? Because as a mentor, you should be able to learn something about yourself. And people who want to learn help other people learn. And so that's the kind of mentor you want to look for. And with my mentor, I was really fortunate because she was really good at asking the right questions and making me think the right things. But a mentor is going to guide you and help you into these difficult situations, and hopefully they'll be super confidential. So hopefully it's someone who's outside of your department. That's usually what's best, or what's even better is if someone from like not in the same company. I think that the second tip that I have when you have a horrible boss is you don't want to talk bad about them. This is something that my aunt told me. She was like, Amanda, whatever happens, do not say anything bad about your boss to your boss's boss. Don't ever do that. Don't ever talk bad about your boss to your friends, to your coworkers, to your coworkers. You think that it doesn't get back to them, but it eventually will. And I had to learn the hard way that, whenever I'm frustrated, I can't just turn to the side and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they made me do this. This is so annoying. Or, I can't believe that they said this and they're so like not intelligent and I just can't stand it. I had to learn the hard way because for me in school, right, it's like most of the time your professors are really smart and you respect them and you trust them. And that's kind of how you're used to seeing things. And then when you go into the workplace, sometimes you'll have a boss that isn't very smart, and you have to still respect them, and you still can't talk crap about them, because at the end of the day, that makes you look worse. And you don't want to appear like you're a snobby brat, and you don't want to appear like you're not able to listen to people with authority. Regardless of how smart they are, how lazy they are your boss, and you have to respect them. So tip number 2, try your absolute hardest. I know it's really, really hard to not talk crap. Number 3, so this is something that my mentor had taught me, which is to double down. Basically knowing that you, at the end of the day, can only try your absolute hardest and kind of ignore everything else that is going on and focus on what you need to do to achieve better results for the company, and kind of separate your boss and yourself. And doubling down means investing a lot in your customers, putting all the time and effort into them, so that no matter what, no matter how awful your boss is, if they steal credit, if they treat you poorly, you know at the end of the day that you've done your best and you go above and beyond what anyone could expect of an employee. And if other people don't recognize that, then shame on them. What you can control is yourself, and you can't have these other environmental factors, having a bad boss, affect how amazing you are, and just not letting someone dull your sparkle. Just sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. That's something that I learned, and it really did end up paying off for me. Just focus on what you need to do to get the job done, and you'll shine. And whether or not you have a great boss, screw him. Number 4 is a tip that I got that really helped me in my career. It's from an old boss of mine, and they had mentioned that every 2 years is about when you'll get a new boss. And so sometimes you'll have a great, amazing boss, best friends with, go to the bar with, and other times you'll have this awful boss that you hate, that you can't work for, that it just doesn't make any sense for what they're asking you to do. But you have to adapt to different managerial styles. So if you have one boss that lets you go do what you want to do, take authority, ownership of your decisions, and then you have another boss who says, CC me on every single email, I want to know what you're doing every single minute of the day. You have to adapt to both styles. And when you are able to adapt to both styles, you'll be able to see that each person will be invested in you because you're invested in making them putting them in a better position. Nobody ever learns from really great and amazing environments. People always learn in the mud. People always learn in the really crappy environments. And my father-in-law told me, you learn the best with the worst bosses. You learn the most because you end up having to do more, you end up having to manage more, you end up having to meet expectations that you never thought you could. And so those are times in your career that you just have to kind of sit back and say, look, this sucks right now, but I'm gonna make it through, and it's gonna change. It's gonna get better. It can't get any worse because it's so bad. And so those are the 4 tips that I have for dealing with a really bad boss. Hopefully it helps someone out there. 1 is getting a mentor. 2, try not to talk crap about them. I know it's really hard. And then 3, doubling down. Don't let them dull your sparkle. You go for it, you own it, and you have other people invested in you that, are going to fight for you at the end of the day. And then number 4, adapting to managerial styles, knowing that everything is going to be temporary and that you need to do what you need to do for your career and not let someone else come in between that. And so hopefully whoever's out there watching this, if you're thinking about quitting your job, maybe take these 4 tips into consideration and let me know if it works. So like and subscribe is what most of the YouTubers say on here. This is my first YouTube video. I hope this helps someone out there. It really helped me a lot, and thanks. That's about it.